Miss Nash. Good. Good morning, Miss Paula. Miss Paula.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. We will begin. We're happy that you joined us. Everyone is on the Zoom right now. Joe Jackson, Executive Director, myself, Greg Davis, and Miss Jessica Starling. And we will proceed. Joe, do you want to say anything right quick?
No, just once again, want to say good morning to everyone. I hope, this day finds everyone doing well. Once again, we're glad that each and every one of you are a part of our regional and planning committee. As I have said before, and I always say, we definitely really value each and every one of you. And speaking with our other centers throughout the country, a lot of them are still struggling with their regional planning committee as it relates to the DOTs. And I don't want to brag, but I think we are probably one of the only regions who basically have each of our states DOTs a part of our regional planning committee. So I want to say thank you very much, and we don't take it lightly or take it for granted, your participation. So thank you very much for joining us.
Okay, per our agenda, we're going to do the regional update. Who wants to go first? Miss
Ladies first.
Okay.
What does that mean when you say regional update? Like what's happening in particular as it relates to project, as it relates to general activity? What are you looking for in terms of response?
We look for some regions have later on, we'll talk about upcoming the state current and projects, but the regional updates talks about what's going on in each particular state regarding DOT.
Gotcha. Well, and I think in asking the question, I may have interrupted Miss Jessica, so I apologize. Miss Jessica, please.
No, you're
go right
fine.
ahead, and we'll listen.
Okay. We're here at TDOT, the Tennessee Department of Transportation. Last week, as a matter of fact, they announced the historic funding that was approved by our legislative body for funding the department $80 million annually, reoccurring, and a $1 billion in non-reoccurring funds. And of course, this is all to help TDOT add more projects to its 10-year plan. In the past, probably prior to 2023, TDOT had a design or a scope of having all of these projects in every year, because we don't take out loans or anything like that. So as the money comes in, we would divvy up the funding for those projects, which in return would cause us to not finish projects in a timely manner. And by the time they were finished, they probably needed to be redone. It also left a lot of projects not being completed, which added to the frustration of our residents and citizens traveling through a lot of construction because the project ran out of funding. So as of 2022, 2023, we came up with, or our commissioner came up with, what gets started gets finished. So us now having from our general fund steady money coming in, because TDOT typically had been responsible for funding all of its projects, along with some local projects that the counties and cities would come with, which was probably a fraction of the cost. We were responsible for all of this. So now that we have the commitment from our legislative body to continuously give us funding for this, we'll be able to get a lot more done. We will also be implementing our Choice Lanes project for I-24, and that's between Nashville and Murfreesboro. For those unfamiliar with Tennessee, Murfreesboro is a city probably about 45 minutes away from Nashville that gets a lot of its employees, and the traffic going and coming during during the rush hour times are horrendous. So what should be a 40 to 45-minute trip can sometimes take up to 2 hours. Just to kind of give you an idea. And I'm sure that's probably nothing compared to Georgia, because I think y'all are always having traffic. But these choice lanes, of course, are supposed to alleviate, some of the traffic for those who would like to participate in it. So that's what's going on in Tennessee.
When you said 2 hours, Jessica, I was gonna say that's all.
Yeah, I know. That's nothing for y'all.
And who's next? Ms. King,
Yes, ma'am.
you want to update us? Anything, Georgia? DOT?
So, for us, we have been, we're talking about a new deputy director who comes from traffic operations and the chief engineer's office. So this new deputy director has a number of ideas about, sort of what we should be doing, where we should be going. And so we are having conversations currently about traffic operations in Georgia. Certainly we're starting here in the metro. And so those are, the large urban counties, Cobb, Fulton, DeKalb, Douglas, Henry. In terms of what we could or should be doing to really at least diminish. We're not going to alleviate the traffic nightmares that we have, but we can certainly diminish some of those. And so this our new deputy director, whose name is Andrew Heath, is really talking to all of us and really soliciting ideas and doing town halls with regard to traffic patterns in those large metro communities. What's working, what's not working, what we should do more of, less of, that kind of thing. Diverging diamond intersections are something that has taken hold here in Georgia. We like them a lot. He's talking about where else those could be. We're talking about managed lanes. We're talking about, those things that are going to serve the public in terms of diminishing some of the heavy traffic patterns. But he's also talking about, pedestrian utilization and bike utilization in these communities, because that too is going to diminish, some of the heavy traffic. If you make a community more pedestrian friendly, if you make a community more bike friendly, that's going to diminish some of your heavy traffic patterns. I'm sure Paula can add what MARTA is doing. It is a world-class transit organization. We have, really great transit options here in Georgia, but how far is that going to get us? And so those conversations about, transit in other areas are always at issue, and they sort of start up and then they die down, and they start up and they die down. So, Georgia, I think, is doing what a lot of us are doing, and that is really, trying to first study what those traffic issues are and then solicit, input from our public about how we can do better, about what they're seeing, about what's working for them, and then how we can implement some of those things. We have a whole program around, mobility and investment, the MMIP program. It's called Major Mobility Investment Planning Program. And that's exactly what it's about. The name couldn't be any clearer. It is about, how to move goods and services through Georgia and how best to do that. So that's what's going on. I appreciate that Andrew comes to us with, kind of a different perspective. You want to be innovative, you want to be collaborative, but I think we all get stuck sometimes in, this is the way we do things because this is the way we do things. And Andrew is really forcing folk to look at something differently, to bring a perspective that is not usual to our review, and sort of think outside the box. And I know that sounds cliche, but we don't do it enough. And so having someone be deliberate in the direction about thinking outside the box is, I think, really going to be an important difference for us in terms of how we're thinking about traffic and alleviating, or at least diminishing, some of that heavy traffic here in Georgia.
Cool. Kim, where does he come from?
Andrew is a long time GDOT employee, but he comes from traffic operations.
Got
to,
it. Got it.
The chief engineer's office to now the deputy director, deputy commissioner. And so he is someone that thinks a little differently about how we do things, and I appreciate that he is sort of sharing that difference of opinion with the rest of us.
So he's deputy commissioner.
Yes, deputy commissioner.
Okay, great. Okay, exciting. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
Mr. Greg?
Good morning again, everyone. It's good to see everyone or hear everyone. Like Ms. King, I also have a new Deputy Secretary of Finance and Administration. We now fall under Mr. Commtee, who is our former FCDOT HR Director. But now he has Minority and Small Business Affairs, Finance, he has HR, and Facilities and IT. So we're excited about Carl being a part of us. We're excited about being a part of him. We still have several major projects going on. Actually, we have now reached the $8 billion mark with projects going on in the state of South Carolina, which is a record for us. Included in that $8 billion is the I-95 expansion from the Georgia state line to Interstate 26. That's a $750 million project. We were extremely excited about that because originally there was a 12% DBE goal on that project. So we were excited about that. Unfortunately, the goal was then lowered to 10%. And because of the injunction from the milling company in Ohio, they have decided that they are considering bidding on the project. So now the DBE goal is 0. And that's all I'll say about that. With our division, Minority and Small Business Affairs, we've had 2 recent retirees. Gary Lynn, who was the director of our DBE Technical Assistance and Compliance team, and James Cooper, who was our manager of our DBE Technical Assistance team. Both gentlemen have over 20 years of experience, but they have decided to retire. So the secretary has decided to use this as an opportunity to review our entire division and see whether or not there are some ways to make our division more efficient. So we're undergoing that. That review team has started on yesterday, and they'll conclude in June of this year, June 30th. They'll conclude with recommendations, and so we're still going along. Currently, my staff of 20 is down by about 1/4, and hiring is on a pause until after the review has taken place. But we're still keeping the ship afloat. We're still doing what we do, and thank you for letting me share.
Good. Well, thank you very much, Greg, for sharing that. And basically, as it relates to my update, as it relates to the DBE, I'll go over that. But obviously, some exciting things taking place. Jessica, a lot of traffic studies and to ease congestion and traffic in Tennessee. It's just excited to hear about the new funding strategy. after I, conclude with my piece, hopefully we can go into, the next step as it relates to DBE participation or SBE participation in lieu of a lot of challenges or what have you. And once again, Kimberly, thanks for sharing, the new direction and traffic study. I think that's a big pattern, throughout. We're seeing folks continue to travel and, gas prices are going great. We're going into the summer. And obviously, we have to always continuously look for update, modernization to move folks. And Greg, thanks for sharing the I-95 project. We've been following that project, and hopefully we can continue to look for strategies to support. But I just want to share with you guys as it relates to the DBE program. Obviously, Secretary Duffy has shared with us a letter. I don't know if many of you have received it. If you have not, following this meeting, I'll make sure that you guys get a copy of it. And pretty much for the most part, he was sharing his commitment to continuously fund a lot of the federally funded projects throughout the country, in addition to raising the commitment for continuously providing programs that are part of the statute. And of course, not recognizing and moving forward with any of the non-statutory programs or executive orders. So that was pretty clear. He touched on several dealing with, contractors with some of the executive orders they were under previously. So I don't know if have any of you seen that letter? Have you seen the most recent letter that Secretary Duffy sent out about a month ago?
I saw
Yes,
it.
outside.
Okay, got it. Okay,
Yes,
good.
seen it.
Okay, good. So basically he shared that. Also, as it relates to our OSTABU, we've named the department, the Office of Secretary named Alan Gutierrez as the OSTABU director for the USDOT's programs. He presently worked as an administrator, SBA administrator under Trump's original office. So he's now back working in the capacity with the DOT. Obviously, he's had private sector experience, government experience. He's worked with a lot of small female women-owned programs as well. So he joined us on our call last month. We're looking forward to getting to know him, and he seems to have, a real passion and commitment around the program. So we're excited to share that. Also, Sam Boyd, who was previously on, call to us from the SBA and then later became the RAD Regional Assistant Director for the Ostabu. He decided to leave. Did not share where he's going, but he felt it was time to leave. So Leonardo San Roman, obviously, who has been with the Ostabu for many years, is now the acting RAD manager for the Ostabu. So I just want to share that. Obviously, of the 12 centers that we have, we continuously meet on a monthly basis. A lot of the information that you guys are sharing with us that is so important at times we'll pass on and share with some of the best practices with the other centers. And likewise, if we hear anything that the other centers or the other regions are doing that's worth sharing, we will make sure that we share that information with you, especially as it relates to the small business and our DBE programs. One thing that we have learned, obviously, is that the DBE program is alive and well. We are going to continuously administer a lot of the technical assistance programs that we've previously administered. The bonding education program is well funded. We received the green light for everyone to get their justifications in for their programs and continue to work with their state DOTs and state stakeholders to identify opportunities for the bonding education program. Um, Last year, we wrapped up pretty much with what we started Memphis, and we're in the process of wrapping up Memphis. We provided the firms who participated in the Memphis BEP with their final prescriptive plans and assessments. So that's one thing that we really take pride in with the bonding education program. It's just not the standard cookie cutter technical assistance program. We really get to know the capacity and the capability of these firms with their intake forms and understand what they really need to increase their capacity, because they're coming to us with a degree of capability. Either they have the license or they've put the body of work in, they do what is it that they do well, but they're only looking to increase their access to capital or bonding capacity. So we're able to identify a good group of men and women, and we're developing some type of forum to make sure that you and each and every one of you can go in and identify and just do a read over some of those firms as well. We're doing that with our MSA website, and we also have a partnering landing page website that's called accessconf.org, and we'll be sharing that with you as well. And in doing so, you'll be able to visit some of the photos and learn more about some of the firms. Those are some of the things that we're trying to make sure that we add on to the program this year, just not the standard technical assistance program, but once these firms go through the program, you'll be able to learn a little more about these firms as well. So just wanted to share with you what's taking place with the DBE program from the Ostabu's perspective, some of the new players that are on board. And obviously they have a commitment to continuously supporting the program. So we're excited about that. So with that said and done, I'll open it up now because you guys shared the exciting projects that you have going on. But if you could, just share, and we could just open it up for a little round table discussion as it relates to number one, obviously, you know, looking at your forecast, looking at your upcoming projects for your DBE projects, how are those going? And obviously, if not, and Greg, one thing I would like to raise with you, if you would like to share it in lieu of some of the challenges that we know that, may come about, is there anything to focus on, small business goals or what have you? So just want to get a perspective based on that, because I've heard throughout the country that some people, you know, are having some challenges, but if they're challenged with their DBE goals, they're definitely making sure that they add their SBE goals. So just wanted to open it up for dialogue. Anyone would like to share anything, that'd be great.
Hi, Joe. This is Paula.
Hey, Paul.
I'm gonna jump back a little bit because I didn't share earlier, but
I'm sorry, Paul, I'm sorry about this.
no problem. I just I know Ms. King talked a bit about um, the traffic pattern and uh, everything that's happening in Georgia traffic wise and studying that. I do want to jump in and say, Marta, for our regions, which our regions are Fulton, DeKalb, and Clayton County, which includes the city of Atlanta, we have for the last couple of years been in the midst of a bus network redesign. We know that there's been a lot of growth in our region, and the bus system that we had in place was in need of being just completely overhauled. And so we have been in conjunction with the communities that we serve, businesses that we serve, lifelines, and those kind of things. We have been developing a entirely new bus network. And so we are at the final stages of that. We are having public hearings on it to inform the public of what it looks like. But essentially, where it will uh, end up being, or what it looks like now, is that we have designed a new bus network that will give our riders more frequent routes, more frequency to their routes. Um, there will be, and that's kind of the most important thing that our riders wanted to see, is more frequent routes. There will be they'll be able to get to their jobs quicker, get to lifelines, hospitals and that kind of thing, more frequently. And so, and it's taken away a lot of the routes that just weren't our prominent routes. Over time, less and less passengers on those routes. So it's taken a while to develop, because it is affecting our entire system. But we are at the place now that it'll probably go for final approval within the next couple of months. So we are there and expect to start rolling that out soon. But along with that, we have also are in the process of developing, and we've already started one that's in the construction phase, BRTs, which are bus rapid transit. And so we have the one that's in the construction phase is the Summer Hill BRT. And of course, with that, it makes that bus trip along Summer Hill a lot quicker, because it has dedicated lanes for buses, and we plan to have more of those. So we're in the process of also developing, going through the environmental phase and all that of our South Lake BRT, which is in Clinton County, and then our Campbellton Road BRT as well. So those are some of the things that are coming up fairly quick for us, as we look at the traffic patterns and the fact that traffic has been so um, crowded here in our region. So we're trying to, that's our efforts in trying to do something about that. So I did want to put that out there. Since Joe, you asked about, upcoming projects, that kind of thing, we are back on with the 5 Points renovation. That got delayed
Right.
for various reasons, but the jurisdictions, which City of Atlanta and MARTA, have come together in an agreement, and we're at the point that construction is definitely starting with that. We will not have it completed by the time of the World Cup, but we will have it in a good shape. And we're not closing down 5 Points to do this. So
Mm.
it will be continuous construction, as a continuous use of 5 Points as we are doing the construction, which makes it very tricky, because we are uh, taking off the canopy, and everything at that station will change. So it makes it tricky. We'll go slower, but that station will remain open. We are also in this, we plan to hopefully have finished before we go to before the World Cup gets here. But we are redoing um, our fare gates. So our automatic fare gates are going to be replaced with a whole new system in all of our stations. And so with that, the construction for that will start very soon as well. The design is already kind of in place, or has been completed, but the construction will start for that very soon. And we will have a new fare gate system throughout MARTA as well.
Well, thanks for sharing that. That's a lot that's taking place, and you're right. I've been following the rapid transit for the bus, and that's exciting. Hopefully, to continue to gather its funds and move forward. That will be pretty exciting. And of course, the the actual station, that's pretty exciting. So Scansga still the GC on that project?
Skanska is, yes.
Got it. Yeah, because I know we earlier did the wraparound bonding education, so I got to follow up with them because I know they were sourcing a couple of the participants was bidding on some of the projects, so that's good to hear as well.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, Paula, once again, thank you. I was on my mobile. I didn't have my list of folks who were there. Definitely did not want to jump ahead of you. So thank you very much for sharing that. So now that we've shared, yeah, let's go back to the
I have
discussion,
a quick comment.
Sure.
Is Miss Jessica, did you have to leave at 11:30? Do you want to share something right quick about that bridge project in Memphis and is it Arkansas or Mississippi?
Sure. It was recently, it's a CMGC project between Tennessee and Arkansas DOT. And it was recently awarded to Kiewit. So they're in the phase now, I believe, of going out for a designer. So I'm praying similar to the project that Greg had referenced when he was giving his updates, that we don't have any issues with the injunction, interfering with DBE goals that are being set on that project. But it's a rather large project, one of the biggest it is the largest bridge project that Tennessee has had. So we're hoping and praying that all goes well with it, where we can actually set a DBE goal, because that is a high minority and women owned DBE area where the bridge will be built.
Got it. Great. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, we look forward to following that. And of course, as it go in design and move towards, construction, definitely we'll look to follow it and support it in any way we can as well, and make sure we get the information out to some of the DBEs in the Memphis area. Of course, several of the ones who participated and completed the bonding education program, I believe, may have some pretty good capacity to bid on those projects. So we'll make sure that we share that information with you and share information as it's disseminated. So thank you very much for sharing that. Good. And of course, I know we're on time. If we need to pick up the conversation for next time, we can, but this is some things that we want to make sure that we continuously follow with each of you as we're dealing with, a lot of different things politically that may impact the program. We want to make sure that, we're a sounding board for you and also a support for you as well. So bottom line, regardless of whatever's going on, I hope that we can continuously identify opportunities to support our business community, because we all understand that, as tariffs and as business takes place, our small businesses are the backbone of, our communities. So we're going to continuously follow any type of ideas and best practices that you may have. And we want to encourage you that as there may be potential challenges, please seek ways to utilize some of your other programs as well. So with that being said and done, I know some of we're upon time, but if anyone would like to share anything in closing, we have time for that. If not, we will park it and pick up the conversations going forward, or park it for the next RPC.
So, Joe, this is Kimberly. I just wanted to, kind of go backwards a little bit, and I know that we're at the end of our time, but I was wondering if you'd asked us about, challenges and what those look like, and then spoke to the correspondence that I think all of us acknowledge we'd received from the secretary. And I'm just wondering what if anything, the small business community is making of that that correspondence, if there is something, because it felt like there was a lot said, but not much said at the
Right.
same time.
Right.
And so I'm just wondering if there's some sentiment in the community about what that correspondence was supposed to provide to us.
I mean, and I'm glad you shared that, because in speaking to a lot of the organizations, they're pretty much echoing exactly what I've heard from each and every one of you today. Whereas there are some, you know, there are several pauses taking place on several, you know, divisions of their, well, departments of their organization, or, you know, it's just best practice as usual as it relates to, you know, most of the statutory, you know, or constitutional programs. But beyond that, you know, a lot of people are, you're right, waiting to see as things play out. And this is why I wanted to make sure I get a good synthesis of what's taking place with you guys as well. So you're right. A lot of people are, you know, pretty much saying, well, it's clear business as usual as it relates to, you know, the statutory programs and programs that are covered. So we're just going to move forward until we hear anything else.
Understood. Thanks, Joe.
No problem. Thank you. Okay, good. Well, once again, I want to say thank you very much to each of you for participating. We will follow up based on a quick summary of the meeting we've had today. If you have anything taking place in your region over the next quarter, please do share it with Beth. So therefore we can put it on our calendars and share it with the DBE communities. I know that TDOT Jessica has an event coming up in the next 2 weeks. Well, next week rather, well, where we're going to present on that program that she has, the virtual program. So if any of you have anything going on where you need us to support, please let us know so. And if you have anything that's worthy of us sharing with the DB community, please share it with Beth and we will disseminate that information. So Beth, I'll turn it over to you to close. And in closing, I want to wish everyone a great rest of your week.
Also, I will be following up with you guys regarding summer internship. We know we have the WITty program, and want to follow up and see what interns you have and how we both can partner on that. Okay? That's my closing.
Great. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.